Okay, so here I am, Thunder Wizards. So I am a few days into my Australia trip. I'm frustrated because I was trying to live stream. I know there's a way to do it, but whatever. I'm on vacation, so I'm not going to waste my time getting all upset about something I can't control, which has been the theme of this trip so far. But so let me just give you let you see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but this is where I'm staying right now in my little treetop jungle. That's the beach down there. I don't know if you can see it. So this is my beautiful little tree house. It's really cool. Let me show you that. So it's basically like a glass house, and the surf has been very small. I have gone out a couple of times, caught a handful of little waves, but I'm really enjoying. I mean, this is, this is everything that I would want. This is a place on the Sunshine Coast, a little beach town called Coolum Beach, and there's a little right point break there, and then there's this beach that just goes on forever, and the waves break really well here. So it's a surfer's dream. The people are incredibly friendly, and maybe it's just this particular place, but everybody is so laid back, and everybody seems so happy. I mean, I've never seen so many happy kids and happy dogs in one place. And my body feels very relaxed here. The sun is incredibly fierce. The sunrise is like walking into a nuclear bomb. I mean, you got to kick on so much sunscreen just to go out surfing. And so I wear like long sleeve nylon, rash guard shirt and a big hat, and make sure I'm always lubed up with sunscreen. Otherwise, just 5-10 minutes in the sun and I'm sunburned. I had some had some very unpleasant personal drama that I won't get into. That it pretty much ruined my first 2 or 3 days, and I won't get into it. Somebody who I was depending on had their own personal drama, and that became more important than the plans that we had. And so I was all alone in a foreign country and trying to figure out how to drive, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't, the driving. For 55 years I've trained myself to look left and then right and then left, but everything's backwards here. So first day I'm looking left and stepping out in the street and cars are coming right at me. So I had to, whenever I go to the street, I say look right and then left and then right. Whenever I get in the car, I say left side of the road, look right, then left, then right. And then they got these things called roundabouts. We're used to intersections, right? Very simple. You stop, you either go right, left, or straight. That's it. I have these roundabouts, and my GPS is saying, on the roundabout, take the second exit. And I'm like, what does that mean, the second exit? And they could have just said, just go straight. Or take the third exit, and they could have said, turn right. That's all they needed. But the third exit on a roundabout, and I don't know what the hell that means. I'm on the wrong side of the, why aren't people stopping? What's going on? So, but that's fun. But I'm finally getting the hang of it. Anyway, I'm very comfortable here, and this little town has everything that I need. There are 2 massage parlors. After I go surfing, I always need my shoulders and my back massaged, and they're right there. There's all the stores and amazing little restaurants, and there's a grocery store, and there's a little beach over here, like a little cove that's really beautiful. And so it feels very healing to me here. And so when I get back, I'm gonna contact a migration lawyer and see what I can do to get the Australian government to convince them that even though I'm over 50, I'm not going to collapse and destroy their health care system, and that I'll only be bringing money into it. Because of the jet lag, it works out perfectly. I was going to bed at 3 and 4 in the morning in Los Angeles, so it works out perfect here because I wake up at sunrise, 4 or 5 in the morning. So I'm able to get out there and go surfing or whatever it is I want to do, and go to bed around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So that'll be great. I know that when I come back at her, I won't have to worry about jet lag. I'll just go to bed when I would normally go to bed and wake up when I would normally wake up. I'm already perfectly primed for it. What I really hope to do is, assuming I'm able to move here, what I'd really like to be able to do is start doing all the things that I used to do, that I haven't done, all the different things. Teach African drumming and play music, teach Qigong, teach spirit fighting, teach shamanism, and as well as continuing to do what I do now, which is, all the videos. I'll have to take clients at like 9 in the morning, which is fine, because if I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, then I'll have plenty of time to surf and come back and take clients from like 9 to noon here, which is pretty much what I was the same time frame. I'm 7 hours behind here, even though it's the next day. It's 7 hours behind. Anyway, I'm really excited. I suppose the whole drama that happened when I first got here, which was actually quite devastating. It was a kind of a blessing in disguise, because I found out that under the worst conditions, under the worst, emotional conditions, and being totally discombobulated and not knowing where the hell I was and what I was doing and how anything worked, my body was very happy here, and the ocean is amazing. I mean, even the sand is friendly here. It's like, the sand is so small that it comes off your feet, and it's so fine that when you step in it, it squeaks. It's really weird. And I haven't run into any insect problems, or the animals, of course, are strange, and there's all kinds of weird sounding, jungly sounding birds and all of that. But one of the interesting things is the trees here. I mean, you see there's a lot of jungly trees here near the ocean, but when you go inland, it's a lot of eucalyptus trees. And it's kind of confusing for me, because I grew up in a place that was known for being very naturey. And what it was is, in the late 1800s, there were some ranches where I lived. It was near the ocean. And then in the early 1900s, they planted tons of eucalyptus trees all over the place. So there, where I grew up, are forests of eucalyptus trees, and I used to hike in the forest there along the coast and up. We lived on a big, sort of mountain over the Pacific. So it was pretty much identical to this, but I always knew that I was walking through a forest that had been planted. And if you drive around Southern California, even if you go inland, you'll find that eucalyptus trees are sort of like junk trees. Like if you're somewhere and they need to throw up some cheap trees really fast, they'll plant a bunch of eucalyptus trees. So that's kind of in my mind, that eucalyptus trees are kind of like junk trees, and they're not real, and they're, So when I walk in the forest here, it feels like I'm at home, where I grew up. And I have to get over this idea that, no, these are indigenous. This is the forest here. This is not a bunch of stuff that's been planted. So on the one hand, it's very familiar and it's very uneventful, because it's like, my body's like, but I mean, my brain is sort of like, yeah. But my body can feel the deep, earthy healing of this place. And that's been my overall experience, is that I feel very relaxed, and in a very different way. My other favorite place is in the high mountains, where there's a lot of pine trees, up 10,000 feet, which is what, over 3,000 meters for those of you who don't know what feet are. And let's just talk about, you know, people say it's going to be 30 degrees today, and I'm like, that sounds really cold. But it's, you know, like 85 or 86 degrees or something like that. So, and if it goes up by 1 degree here, that's a big deal, you know, whereas back in the States, 1 degree means nothing. So there's a lot of things to get used to, but I fit in here with this lifestyle. These people, at least here, are incredibly athletic, and their whole culture is based on ocean sports. You know, I mean, it's like not just, you know, like in California, there's a lot of people that do ocean sports, but you know, there's no real, like, you know, the state and local governments really aren't about that. Here, it is so ingrained in the culture that, you know, you can tell that state and local governments have set things up to allow people to, you know, it's like the national sport here, surfing, and they call it surf craft, you know, because there's so many, and they're using so many, they're using surf vehicles I've never seen before, like these big giant, I don't even know what the heck they are. I'm sure we have them in the States. I've just never seen them. And it's just, people are so laid back and so mellow. And, you know, this place is like if you took the best of Southern California and the best of Hawaii and gave both of them some ecstasy and they had sex, the love child would be Southern Queensland, Australia. You know, I have driven a little bit inland towards some of the larger cities, and so it does get a little bit different, so I can tell that this is a really special place. There's some national park forest up the way here, but my GPS for some reason doesn't want to work up there, and it gets really crowded and touristy, and to be honest, I just don't feel any need to leave here. Everything I need is right here. Beautiful, I mean, anything I could want in terms of what I want for ocean. Anyway, so it's really hard not to feel like I'm just constantly meditating. I'm really happy being here. Anyway, that's it for me today. So I'll see you guys. Maybe I'll upload something before I go back, but this is it for now. All right, talk to you guys later. I thought I'd just give you an update. Okay, see you.